Today, we're at Caltech because in a building over there is a camera that absolutely blows my mind.
Now, we've filmed at some very high frame rates. We're talking up to about 500,000, which is
Not to be sniffed at.
serious frame rates. Their camera puts ours to shame and does 10 trillion frames per second.
That's 13 zeros. For reference, that is 20 million times faster than the fastest we've ever filmed on this channel.
And there's not much you can't film with 500,000 frames a second, but one of those things is the speed of light.
Not a bad subject.
No.
Let's get in there.
All right.
Even the shoe cover technology is cool.
I kind of want one of these at home, actually, just for people.
All right, let's go in, see what this cup is all about.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
How's it going?
Good.
So what are we doing here? This looks all very complicated.
This is the world's fastest camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the world's fastest camera. So there you go. Just as easy as that.
How big is the actual camera part?
I can show you. That big box is the camera itself, and here is the optics that we designed to make the thing work.
Very cool. So a lot of the times in our YouTube comments, we get asked to film the speed of light. And I have to always reply to people, letting them know that the speed of light is almost incomprehensibly fast. And even our cameras under 1 million frames a second will never see anything like that. Is this camera capable of filming the speed of light?
Yeah, that's basically what we're gonna see. For the example, I'm going to show the light will move about the length of this bottle.
In time, how long does it take for light to start here and end here?
It takes about 2,000 picoseconds.
It's pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
So for the audience, it goes milliseconds, microseconds,
Is it nanoseconds?
nanoseconds, picoseconds, femtoseconds.
Yes.
So we're on the sort of pico-femto scale with this stuff.
Yes.
We've never done that before, for sure.
Yeah, no, this is completely on another level. So shall we set up the first experiment?
Sure, yeah.
Start with the bottle?
Yeah. Everyone should wear laser goggles.
Okay.
We have some.
Do I look good?
You've got like side panels in
You
your
look like you're
glasses.
about to...
badass.
It looks like you're about to go skiing with a welding torch.
Just...
So I assume because we're trying to film light, it'll be useful to turn all the lights off in here, right?
Yes.
Otherwise we'll just get...
Yeah, you get a lot of ambient light coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get ready for lights off.
Can you hold this?
I'll hold this.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm excited. I get giddy by this frame rate stuff.
We want to see the light propagation from the side, so we need to make sure that the light is scattered out of the plane. If you put the milk molecules inside, then you can see light scatter from the side.
So this is a bottle full of water with a bit of milk in.
So I'm going to turn on the laser.
So all you do is just move mirrors and lenses around, and then it goes to different areas.
Instead of move the laser, the laser is too big. See, the light hits the bottom of the bottle, so it goes through the bottle.
Is it a powerful laser?
It's very powerful. It can basically burn any papers.
I will stay away from that.
Yeah.
So you can see it glows.
That's cool.
So the first thing I'm going to capture is just static image as our reference. For today, I'm going to try 100 feet per second.
Excellent. I mean, I remember when I was excited when we started shooting, we moved from 1,000 frames a second to 28,000 frames a second.
That was a big jump.
Okay, so we're pretty much done with the water bottle.
Okay.
I'd like to take a photo of this. So as you can see, we can only see the light itself. We cannot see the bottle and the label on it.
Yeah.
So if finally in the movie, we may want to overlap both the bottle itself and the light.
So you composite a real picture.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just take a photo on your phone, and you can do that.
Yeah, you can just use a software to overlap these two things.
Neat.
You're in the photograph. Just photobombing the bottle.
Okay, let's watch back our bottle. This took 8 hours to process, during which time I grew a slightly longer beard.
I had a haircut as well.
All right, here we go.
Right, okay, so what we're seeing here is the
Whoa.
the bottles that's been comped in, basically.
Yeah, so this camera only detects the light itself, which is like a bluish laser light, which is why you don't really see anything else other than the light looking like that. And then we comp in the picture of the bottle. In the room with my actual eye, it looked like it was constantly lit up, but here we're able to follow the light moving through the bottle. It may not look like it, but this is actually real.
It's refracting the photons, that's why you can see it. But when it's just going through the air, there's nothing to actually reflect the light. So
yeah, it's only showing up in the bottle. It is interesting. It almost looks like a sort of an 80s film effect.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like
some sort of ghost flying into the room.
But actually, that is light.
No, wait, look at this scale. So every frame seems to be 10 picoseconds. And we're just sort of casually watching this light go left to right through the bottle, but in reality, the light is moving 1,000,000 times faster than a bullet. What a mental subject.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've shot light through milk. Next experiment?
Yep.
All right.
For these experiments, we designed a special cavity. We call it chaotic cavity. So when light comes in the cavity, they bounce back and forth multiple times by the mirrors surrounding in the cavity.
You're almost trapping light inside.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the purpose of this?
This egg thing.
So this is to create a water vapor surrounding the environment so that light scatters out. The same thing like water bubble.
So you can sort of see it a little bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is how the system works. Turn on.
All right, let's go do the experiment. How long did it take you to learn to use this?
It's maybe a few months to get used.
A few months to get used to it?
Yeah, because it's really complicated system.
Yeah, it's really complicated, is it? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, we're pretty much down.
Okay, so this is the chaotic cavity at 100 billion frames a second.
Just like nothing.
Once again, the duration of this video is, you can't even get your head around how short amount of time it is. It's amazing. When we were in the room, it looked like the whole thing was glowing, but now we can see the individual pulse of light bouncing around this thing. Looks like a weird version of Pong.
And this is 1 femtosecond of laser pulse. So as if you just went like, with the laser.
A femtosecond pulse.
Yeah.
And if you pause it, you can see it's just like a dot of light.
And they've like comped in the shape of the mirrors.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could actually build like a big maze to get it around. Like you could do like a little maze and try and get to the
World's fastest maze completion.
Yeah.
Light.
Oh, I almost went in the corner there.
It is. It's like the DVD
yeah.
screensaver, isn't it? You just want it to go straight in the corner.
Nice, nearly. So this one's 100 billion.
Yeah.
Should we see what 500 billion looks like?
All right, so the area is quite small.
Yes.
There's no way that we can stand in and be filmed by this camera. But, alternative solution, little mini figurines of us.
Wait, why is mine... Oh, for goodness sake.
Right.
Again,
Let's
every
sort of
time.
Put them on there.
Flippin' heck.
All right.
So in this experiment, instead of shooting light from the side,
Yeah.
I changed the beam path to bounce back this mirror, and use a concave lens to expand the beam to shoot at the angle.
So this is more about scattering light on the surface of the
Yes.
figurines?
You're sweeping across the surface of
Okay.
the figures.
Because we're obviously not see-through, so...
Yeah. So this is the static image of the two figures. Now I'm doing 500 billion frames per second with 2x2 coding.
So 2x2 on a casual half trill.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much down with this one.
This is 500 billion frames a second of our little figurines. With a resolution of 549 by 439. The footage is played back at 20 frames a second, therefore it is slowed down by a factor of 25 billion times. I do like that I was able to successfully photobomb this picture.
I like how it shows up on your nose so much.
All right, I knew you'd say something about that. It does.
It really
it does
show
get
up on
caught
your
by my nose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is interesting to see the light scatter on the surface of something as opposed to go through.
Yeah. So again,
body.
all they've done here is pretty much comp in our bodies with the light. So the
Yeah.
camera would have got this blue light, and they've just taken a picture and comped in us and matched it up to where the light hit.
You look miserable in that.
You look like I've just said something awkward, and you're like, oh. Ugh.
Should we do these poses?
Yeah, sure.
And you can see on the time scale, it's a much slower progression of picoseconds.
Because we're filming it
Because we're now
faster.
at 500 billion frames a second. All right, that's 500 billion done.
Child's play.
Child's play.
Let's crank it up.
All the way?
Yep.
All right, let's do 10 trillion frames a second. So, Peng, we're at a different camera now, is that
Yeah.
correct? And this one could do up to 10 trillion frames a second.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the 10 trillion frames per second. That's the maximum speed we can do. So here we have a sample which contains diluted milk. It's about a few millimeters long.
So that's all that the camera's looking at is a few millimeters long.
Yeah, so that's how long the light propagates within 30 picosecond.
Okay, wow.
So here is the same software that we use to capture the image.
So for this one, we're allowed to keep the lights on?
Okay.
Because we are doing ultra-fast images within a very narrow time scale, there's minimum amount of light comes through the ambient light.
In comparison to the powerful laser that's going
yeah.
through. Yeah, because it's all relative, I suppose.
Yeah, much brighter.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And this is how it works.
So this is a much smaller scale because we're using a higher frame rate, capturing a very much smaller amount of space and time,
Yes.
essentially.
All right. This is the light traveling through the milk vial at 10 trillion frames a second. This is the reason we came here.
Yeah.
So cool.
So on the bottle video, the lights seem to be going the same speed, but then you've got to remember that the scale of this is much smaller. So this is 1 millimeter, it says here, is the distance, whereas before it was an entire bottle, which shows you that we're actually recording light traveling through such a small amount of space.
And it's so slow now that our picosecond has a decimal place to the 100th femtosecond.
That's blowing my mind for a start.
When Peng turned on the laser, I didn't see anything at all. But now we can actually see how it moves. But on this scale of time, if we fired a bullet through this frame, it would take years to go from one side to the other.
And light is just gone, yep. That really puts it into perspective as well, doesn't it?
I just feel like no human should ever have seen this. It's like you're looking at the base of the universe. I've heard that in future, the Caltech team actually intends to increase the speed up to 1 quadrillion frames per second. It's a bit mind-blowing, to be honest. We have to leave now and go back to our old measly hundreds of thousands of frames a second.
Measly, pathetic hundreds of thousands.
Well, thank you very much, Peng, for
Okay, thank you.
showing us your amazing kit.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's some of the most mind-blowing footage ever. I mean, visually, it's just a blob going from left to right.
Yeah.
But to know that that's light.
I would say it was actually one of the most mind-blowing things that we've seen.
Well, I feel very accomplished. Hopefully you enjoyed watching light move through the air in slow-mo. Feel free to check out other episodes from Planet Slow-Mo and join us in part 2. We'll be learning a lot more about how this camera works. You can subscribe too if you want. We'd appreciate it.
Still not sure I'll be able to understand it after part 2 as well.
We'll do our best.
All right.